Hi guys, welcome to the new video of Next.js 13. In this video, I will talk about Ghost CMS platform. It is open source and built upon Node.js. So it is very important CMS platform out there in the market, and it is mainly built to build different websites for blogging, for releasing your content. So if I go to the product, it is mainly for the content creators, publishers, businessman, and mainly for developers. And this is what we are going to be using. We'll be going through its documentation, and we'll be creating some APIs of Ghost for the blogs that we'll be creating using its own dashboard. Just this is the kind of dashboard that we'll be using, and we'll be creating some posts out there, and we'll be exposing some APIs and utilize those APIs in our Next.js 13 application, right? So it is actually a powerful app for content creators, right? So if I go down and check out its GitHub repository, you can see that it is public, open source, and it is liked by 43.4K users, right? It's awesome. Now, if I go down, you can see that it is supporting a lot of integrations like Next, Zapier, Google Analytics, and YouTube, and a lot more stuff. And now, if we are using the Ghost Pro, then it will just take over a few minutes to deploy over whatever website or a blog we're going to build using its own theme. Uh, in its own server, right? So now, but we are going to install it locally. We don't want to use Ghost Pro as of now. If I go over here, and just to explain you guys, we can go to the themes and we can select a theme from here. There are a lot of paid as well as free themes for different kinds of categories, and it will ask us to sign up and add over credit card details, deploy on its own hosting provider, and use it theme and customize the theme with different blog posts, different pages, different a lot of customizations. If we want, we can do it directly from its own dashboard, right? So there are few things that we can do with it. There are few things that we cannot do with it. I'll be talking about that during this video. So make sure you watch this video till the end so you can better decide whether you want to go with Ghost CMS or not. And you can better compare it with other CMS in the market out there, right? So first of all, in its GitHub. These are different screens that how we can install Ghost locally in our system. Once we install Ghost in our system, we can run its whole dashboard and in our local system, whether it's Mac or Windows or Ubuntu. And if we want to deploy it on production after installing it locally, then we can also do that. We don't need to use its own hosting service. We can simply use this documentation to follow the steps and deploy over local application. But this is something you can go through yourself. I'll be giving all these links in the description of this video, and we'll be using the content API. Content API means that it will provide us all the get requests, means that whatever we will be creating on its dashboard for creating the pages or the posts or blog posts, we can get different things from it. We can, these are all the endpoints it provides for the posts, for single posts, for authors, tags, and you can see that it is only giving us the get requests. But if you intend to create some kind of user interface in your React application, Next.js, Angular, Svelte, or Vue.js, you can use this admin API to trigger different actions for updating the content, for creating new content directly from your front end application that you have built yourself using Next or React.js. Then you can use this admin API from here, and it will give you different endpoints for actually posting, deleting, and updating the content which is on your dashboard. But usually we only need the get requests, because the content management system is to only manage and expose the APIs and utilize those APIs in our any front-end applications. But in this video, as you know, we'll be using Next.js new version, which is 13, right? So let's go ahead. Enough explanation. I'll try to explain more stuff on this thing, that where to use this Ghost CMS platform. So first of all, you need to download and install this Ghost CLI globally in your system. I am assuming that you already know, have installed Node and npm in your local system. If not, please go ahead, open up the Node website and install the latest Node version in your system. Once you do that, it will install npm automatically. So I'll first install this, which I've already done. Make sure you install this, and after that, open up any empty folder. That folder should not have any other file, and copy this line, ghost install local. And I'm using VS Code, and I have created two empty folders, one for Ghost, another for Next 13 terminal for both of these projects. And in the Ghost folder, I'll be entering this Ghost install local, and it will be installing all the required files and folders within this Ghost folder. And on the right side, I'll be installing the new Next 13 project. So let's do that. For creating Next 13 project, npx create next app at latest. At latest will install the latest. I think the latest version is 13.4. So it will install the latest next version. So it will ask me to name the project. So next ghost, it's going to install this. Let's use the TypeScript, ESLint, and for now I won't be using the Tailwind. I don't need source directory. Let's add app router and import alias. Let's do that. So it's going to download all the dependencies, and it's going to create the Next 13 project in my folders. So Next 13, it has created the next ghost project, and this ghost have successfully installed this ghost project, and it has created these kinds of folders. So it's open source, we can customize it if we want, right? So I'll be explaining you some files within it. Most of the time we don't need to care about that understand all the files inside it if we only want to create the content from the ghost dashboard. So it's saying that your ghost project can be accessed over here, but it's not running. We need to first start it. Let's go to the documentation, and when we need to install locally, let's go down, and you can see that it is also saying that our project will be visible over here. We can also update the port in the configuration file, and then we can start or stop the ghost using these commands: ghost stop, start, log, ls to see all the running ghost instances, right? And then we can actually use, if we want to customize it or create our own theme in our local installed ghost project, we need to understand the handlebars, which is the UI library, just like the EJS is the UI library, and there are other libraries as well. So but we don't need to understand this as of now in this video. So I think that's it. Let's go, and now let's run the ghost. First of all, I'm going to enter inside the ghost. Let's try ls. Yeah, we are in this folder, and in order to run the ghost, so I will run the ghost start. First, let's see if no instance should be running. So no instance should be, so it's actually running already. Why it's running? I was trying this thing in in my previous project, so that's why it might be running before. So let's try ghost stop. So now let's try ghost ls. Now both of these are stopped. Now let's try to start again, ghost start, right? So it's now, I think, building thing. Now your admin interface is located over here. Maybe previously when I installed this ghost, it automatically ran this ghost start command. That's why it showed there. So I will press command and hit this, and let me bring this up on this screen. So here you can see that my local ghosts project is running in my system, right? That's great. And the first thing, it is asking me to set up the first site. We can later on configure this site, add our own theme, and by default it will give us a default free theme automatically installed in my project. So let's see. If I go to the current, go to the component, I think the content and the themes, and this is the Casper theme installed already over here, and we can configure this theme in our dashboard. And if we need to create our own custom theme, we need to follow up its own standards. understand handlebars, how to write handlebar templates, UI, and then create our own theme directly inside it. But it's up to you whether you want to create that or use the already pre-built themes that it provides. But for front end, we obviously will be using the other applications. We only be using its APIs. So let's first create some site title like this. This is the test, and let's say Umair Jamil, and I'm going to enter few of my email IDs. So let's add this email ID. So let's add a password. So I'm going to enter its password, any password that you want, right? So it is now have created the first instance of my project, and this is the default website or a blog it has created by default. So this is the first blog post that it has created, and we can explore different things. So customize your site, import members if we want other members to make customization to our Ghost blog, we can do that. Explore Ghost admin. So let's go to admin. I don't like white theme. Let's switch it to black ones. That seems good. So now we can view the site from here. We can navigate to different pages that is already created by default. We can explore other people's work, other people's creations that they have been using this Ghost platform to actually create their own blogs. But let's ignore this for now. So these are the pages. Currently, there is only one page about that is already created. We can directly customize it from here, and we can then publish from here, update that. Let's go to the pages, view site, about, and this is what we just updated over here. And it's so quick, it's so fast, it's so easy to use, very minimal options inside it. And here we can add different options to see the dashboards, that different analytics. So let me first add myself as this. So this is what I have added over here. We can add new members from it. So let's go to the dashboard, and now you can see that it's showing me all the analytics. Currently there is no user over here, right? So first of all, let's go to the posts, and this is the by default post already written that you can see. We can add more posts, we can edit this post, we can add we can update post URL, date, tags, the access to it, and excerpts, and also the code injections, metadata directly from here for the SEO, for the search engines, for also for the Facebook and Twitter. This is a quick introduction of Ghost, that what it provides. And next, go to, now let's try to integrate this in our Next.js app, right? So how to do that? If I go to settings, you can see that a lot of things we can integrate, that we can have publication details, navigation stuff. But first we need to go to the integrations, and here you can see that there are a lot of integration options we have Google Analytics, GitHub, and a lot of different things. But we need to add some custom integration. So click on custom integration, and here I'm going to add Next.js 13. I'm going to name this Next.js 13, create. And now you can see that it has created this, and it is giving me this, these three things. At the start of this video, I showed you that you can have the admin API. This is for the update requests, put, posts, patch, or delete requests. But we don't need that, since we are only using this platform for content management, and we'll be utilizing that in our Next.js. So now we only need the content API key and app API URL, and this is the URL currently set over here. If we were to deploy over local instance of Ghost to any hosting service provider, or even the Ghost built-in service provider, then we would have a different API URL over here, right? So first of all, I'm going to go to my browser, and I don't need to check this Ghost anymore. First of all, I'm going to go to the app folder. If you don't know the new version Next.js, its routing structure, check out my previous videos of Next.js 13s. I have created a whole crash course, but still I'll be creating more videos in that crash course. Still, I've created 11 videos in that. So check out that if you want to know Next.js 13 app routing structure. So first of all, I'm gonna go to this app and I'm going to create a new file and I'm going to ghost config.ts. Okay. And first of all, I need to create few packages. Let's install it. I'll be giving it in the description directly. So the first thing is npm install and it should be Troy Ghost slash content dash API. And now this is installed. So let's go and import this in this config file. So let me see if it was created over here. Yep. So import and then ghost content API from try ghost API. Okay, it's giving error. Let's check this later. First of all, let me create the API for that. So let's configure that API equals to new ghost content API, and I'm going to add an object of it. First one is the URL. The second one should be the key, and the third one should be the version, right? And let's copy the URL. The URL is to be over here. So this is the app API URL, right? And version over version is, let's go so we can actually add the version. This is you can 5.52. We don't need to write everything, which can just write the 5.0 over here. So v 5.0, this is the version. And now let's go and copy this content API key copy, right? So our Ghost API is configured, right? Now let's try to resolve this issue. So the reason it is actually giving us this error because we are using TypeScript, and for the TypeScript we need to install another package which is the type slash try ghost content API. Okay, so I'll be writing in the terminal npm install and I'll be pasting this, which is types ghost. I hope that you can read it. So I'll hit enter. So it's going to install this package, and once it gets installed, you will see that the above error should be gone. Yeah, so it's gone. That's awesome. Now we have configured our API object. Now utilizing this API object, we can call any API that is given over here. So this is working with Next.js, or we can let's go, this is the local version. Yeah, and we can check the content API. So this is the first option that we have, posts, and we can call this API and can get all this data through this API. So first of all, we can also export this API object from here, but let's export another function from within to get the API, to get the posts actually. So I'm going to write exports async function get posts. You can name the function anything you want. And now I can return await. This will actually return the promise. So that's why I'm using the async await. I hope that you already know. If you don't know what is async await or promises, check out my Node, Express, and MongoDB tutorial. In that, I have explained very deeply the differences between them and how to use this. So API dot, and then I can call the posts, and then I can write browse. I can also write the read. Read is for reading the single post. If we want to browse all the posts, we can write the browse. Okay, so here I can write all over here, or I can add some params. Params means that if you want to include some extra details along with the post. So by default, it does not include the authors or tags of the post. So I want to include that as well. So let's add the tags and also authors. You can also add some more details if you want. And I want to limit the post to 10 for now. And then I can obviously catch the arrow function, and I can throw new error. Yeah, like this. So we have written our function. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward, that this is how we can call the API and get some data. Now let's go ahead and create our route. So I don't want to touch the home route. If we go to the app, uh, then this is the default home route. I don't want to touch that. Instead, I want to navigate to another route, which I want to name blogs. And inside the blog, I will be creating the page.tsx, and it will be behave like slash blogs route. Okay. So let me bring up some default stuff from here, paste it, and let's close these things. So main, and then this, and then this, right? And I'm going to change its name to posts. Okay, so let's remove this, and I don't think I need any other stuff over here, so I will remove this as well. And now let's go and try to show some data by using that API, right? So first of all, let's bring in that function that we have exported from that config file. So import get posts from Ghost config file, right? So get posts is here, and now we can write const post equals to await and get post, because that is returning a promise. So it is giving an error. We need to add the async over here, right? So before moving further, let's try to log this post, whether it prints something or not. Okay, so I'm going to save it. Now let's run over Next.js 13 project. Let's go inside Next Ghost, and now let's run npm run dev. It's going to go into the package.json, and it's going to run the next dev command, right? So it has compiled now. Let's go, and I'm going to open up the localhost 3000. Let's see if it works. Yeah, it is compiled, and this is the home directory which was by default, but we have created our new folder which is blogs. All right, so I'm going to remove these classes for now, since these are by default. Okay, and I'm going to remove images and this stuff as well. Okay, now let's save. There is an error git config ts. So this issue occurring because of the node version I'm using. If I show you my current version in the terminal, it is 16, which I've already changed. Earlier I was using the version 18, and the current version of Ghost is not fully compatible with the latest node version, which is the 18. So I mainly use the nvm. If I show you all the versions installed in my system, earlier I was using this 18.16.0 version. If you are using this or any later version, make sure in order to work with the Ghost, currently just downgrade it to the 16 at least, or maybe down more. You can try it out. So the current issue is because of the version, so I've already shifted to this version 16.15, right? So this issue should not be shown now. Thrown new error. Now I will run npm run dev. Okay, so it's actually running and compiling. Now let's go, and if I refresh my slash blogs route, it should run fine. You can see that there is no error, and there is no error over here as well, and it is now printing out this data, posts, right? So it's the post data, which is only one currently in my dashboard. I'll be adding more posts to test it, right? So it's working fine, and I've just added the blogs here. That's why it's printing blogs over there. Okay, so I need to fetch all the posts from the dashboard. So this tutorial is not about how to write HTMLs and styling those HTML or even the Tailwind CSS. So I'm just copying some tags and styling over here from my other screen. You can understand that yourself. I will be talking about the designing and Next.js stuff in other videos, right? So let's copy and paste over here. Okay, so there are few issues it is showing. So React, I need to bring in here from the React, and then it's not giving up the image, so I need to bring it from the next image. So let's bring it. So image, it should be from next/image. Logging it. Now let's go. It's showing the element type invalid, received, promise, resolve, undefined, lazy element must be a class or a function, right? So the thing is that this image, and there is something called, let me first explain you what's going on here. I'm mapping out the post and I'm getting the post, and here I'm just getting the featured image key from the post object, and then the title from the post, then the author, then name, and then this HTML post.html is actually returning the tags. And in order to convert the tag to be compiled in my actual format, I need to do it like this. It is the built-in JavaScript way of doing it. You can see that I haven't added inside this h1 tag directly. So dangerously set inner HTML and then underscore underscore HTML, and then the variable or the string that we want to add over here. It will remove the tags and update the HTML text like it is designed in the JSON object from the API, right? So now what I need to do is, in Next.js 13 there is something called use client, and this function is actually exists on the client side. It is a browser function, it does not exist on the server side. And now I need to first use client, okay, and then it is actually statically import image, right? So now if I save it, I hope that it would work. So but it should not work. Yeah, I've got the issue in Next.js 13. It's again the Next.js 13 issue. I need to go into the next config file and add different configuration for the resources, for the sources from where I am importing those images. So my current source of images is my local server, which is the Ghost server. So this is the my current server from where I am loading the images. It was also we used to do in the previous version of Next.js. So I'm just copying an object over here like this. So it says images remote patterns, and here I can set the protocol, which is HTTP, and you can see from bottom, and then the local host, and then the port has to be 69, right? And now I'm going to save it. Let's try and rerun the front end server because I have changed the next config file. And before we actually test the output and our next app, I would like you to please go ahead on the dashboard of Ghost and delete the default post that was already added over here. The reason is that the path over here, like this, we have set it to localhost, but the default post does not have this localhost path. It was set to the original URL of the Ghost, so we have to delete that. And after that, I have added more posts over here by clicking on new post, add an image, post title, and the begin writing the post. Here I have added the description. Just like if I go to the what is Deno, I've added the image, this is the title, and I've added this description. And just like this, I have clicked the update button or the publish button. And in order to delete your first post, just click on this icon on the top right and click on this delete post, and it will be deleted. And after that, try to create few more posts over here. And once you do it, make sure you run the front end server again and try to check the URL. And if I go to the URL, and here you can see that all of the 5 posts are being shown over here with some nice looking UI. So if I create another post over here, let's say that I'm adding from here. So let's say a Python one, right? And I can write what is Python, and I can add the description, right? Any description. So from now I can click on the publish, continue, and the publish post. How quick is that, right? And go to over here and refresh, and now you can see that a new Python post is being shown up just like in a few seconds, right? So this is how we can set up our Ghost server on localhost and add some different configurations and use those APIs in the Next.js 13. We can use that in other Next.js versions as well, in React, Angular, Vue, Svelte, in any front-end framework, right? So I hope that you have liked this video. If you like it, don't forget to subscribe my channel and share your feedback in the comments below. It was a bit long video, but I think it's worth it. And I will be creating more videos on Next.js 13.